So, did you know that in order for a star to be born, a gaseous nebula must completely collapse? I'm going to post in the comments what a gaseous nebula is and what it looks like, but they're beautiful when they're captured in picture forms through telescopes, through, like major telescopes. They're gorgeous. But they have to explode. That explosion of that nebula has to happen first before a star is born. And how many of us feel like we are collapsing? Our nervous system is going crazy. We feel like we're having a breakdown. We feel like we can't handle much more of anything. What is my body going through? A lot of people don't understand it until they start to experience it. Myself included, and many other people that I've talked to that are currently going through such situations are like, I never understood that somebody could go through this type of pain or anxiety or mental stress or panic attacks or this or that until I went through it myself. I remember so-and-so used to blah, 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 and I just told them, hey, think positive, or, get over it, or stop being like whatever, you can do this, get up and stop, overthinking things, or blah, 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 blah. And they'd get pat answers, and people just didn't understand it. And then they came up to that point where things happened in their life, and they found themselves in that position. And those very things that they saw that other person go through, now they are currently experiencing. And it's quite the journey for some of us. But if we can look at it instead of, I'm falling apart, I'm a mess, I can't function, I can't socialize, I can't get out of the house, I get panic attacks, I get this, I get that, I get physically sick, I have almost feel like I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown, or I do have panic attacks and anxiety, and it doesn't make any sense because logically I know it's not a big deal. I've said so many times, in different videos and in conversations with people, that there's a nervous system that has to be healed. And sometimes we don't realize how much we put it through until it comes to that point where it says, you know what? I think I need to constantly protect you because you've experienced this and this so much, and it just turns on a nervous system full tilt all the time on a regular basis. Or it seems more often than that. And when you're going through it, sometimes you can feel like, you know what, I'm never going to get through this. Is this ever going to end? I get on top of one thing and another thing happens. Or you might feel like you're being buried by it and you can't get on top of it. But there is hope. There is hope. There is hope. But you can't lose hope. Remember that before that star is born, a nebula has to literally collapse first. So remember that. Remember that. Do not give up hope. Do not give up hope. We are going to get through this. And when we do, we are going to shine like never before. And when that star is being born, through that hell that you feel like you are going through, even then, you will begin to shine. You don't lose hope, and you keep pushing forward. Think of how that nebula, and how is it got to collapse first, and then when it begins to do that collapse, okay? And when that star is going, I don't know exactly how to do it, but I'm going to make up my own hand motions, okay? I'm no scientist. Whether it collapses in and then comes out or whatever, however that works. When that star is being born, it goes through that collapse where you feel like you're dying and you can't make it. But you can. You can. But you can't give up. You've got to take steps every day. And on the days that you miss it, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Pick yourself up and say, it's a brand new day. It's a brand new day. And every day is a new beginning. Every day is a new beginning. You take steps forward. You never get to the top of a mountain in a short period of time. You just don't. Unless you jump in a helicopter or an elevator. But that's not usually how you climb a mountain, right? When you've got to get to the top of a mountain, it's a journey. And when you're digging yourself out of a pit, on top of that, it's even more of a journey. And how many of us feel like we've been digging ourselves up out of this pit? Whether it's chronic pain, anxiety, loss, panic attacks, depression, digestive issues, all kinds of, there's so many things that people are going through. How do you dig yourself out? How? One shovel load at a time, one step at a time, one reach at a time. You pull yourself up. You don't give up. You keep moving forward. Always. You never give up. That's how you make it. That's how we make it to the top. That's how we get out of the pit. If you sit there and you say, I just don't want to try no more, and you give up, there can be a point in there too that I want to say that there's a part of giving up that can be good for you. There's a part of giving up that's going to keep you in the pit. The part of giving up that is good for you is when you realize that maybe all the stuff that we thought was so important, that we had to strive and be and become, and all of this stuff, whether it was to please others or to think some self-worth or to, you know what I mean? Those things are good to give up on. We don't have to be anybody for anybody else. We don't have to be something that we're not. We need to be who we are. And if we give up trying to be something we are not, or give up trying to please others, instead of doing what's best for your own health and well-being, that's a good type of giving up. Sometimes we need to come to that death or to that collapse in those places. Maybe it's being a perfectionist. Maybe it's thinking that everything has to be right in order to have peace of mind. Everybody's got to do it right or not at all. There can be a lot of different ways. And then sometimes we come to that point in our life that we come to that point where that's what we do need to give up. Give up trying to be something. Did you know that perfectionism and over-detailing and chronic type of thing is actually a form of anxiety? It's a way of taking control of something because we feel like we haven't had control, maybe when we were younger or in relationships, or it could be in a lot of different areas. But this is one thing I can take control of because I'm good at it. But it is a form of anxiety. When it comes down to it, that over compulsive things for to be perfected is a form of anxiety of trying to take control of some area of your life where you feel, okay, at least I'm in control of something here. Coming to the end of that sometimes needs to happen, where we give up trying to be perfect, trying to please everybody, trying to be loved by everybody, trying not to rock the boat with anybody. Sometimes giving up is what is needed then. And at that point, that collapse in on, you know what, I'm done. That's a good thing, because all of a sudden then we have a chance to shine again, because we're coming to the end of what once was. And I mean, perfectionism is one example. It's something in my own life that I'm working through and letting go of. Over detailing, overthinking things, taking time to think before maybe I respond. There's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different examples I could give. That's just one that I'm giving right now. But you can think of what it is in your own life that, yeah, I need to give up on this. And in that sense of the word, that give up is the beginning of what can be the birth of a star. A chance for you to break out and shine. To shine. But the other part of the giving up that is not good is, I have tried everything. I'm done. I'm hopeless. I can't get through this. I can't get out the door. I can't socialize. I have panic attacks. I can't handle life. I can't do this. I can't do that. I don't want to try anymore. I'm in too much pain. My life is hell. I'm miserable. I have nothing to live for. I have none of this. I have none of that. I am no good. I'm this. And the list can go on. That type of giving up is going to keep you in a pit of hopelessness and lack of action. Always wishing for someone to come down and to save you. When you have that mentality, it doesn't matter how many times someone is going to pick you up and take you out. You will find your way to fall back into that pit because of patterns and routines and things that have gotten you there in the first place. As I said in my last video, change must begin within us. Change must first start within us. You cannot give up, and you cannot expect everyone else to save you. You can't. And I've said this before many times. That's how I lived 40-something years of my life. I am now 50. And 50, I'm fucking through. I don't care how much hell my body sometimes makes me feel like I'm going through. You see me on here sometimes shining and glowing and don't give up and do blah, 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 blah. But you don't see what it is that sometimes I have to struggle through if I don't do my processes. Now, I'm going to get through that where it's not like, oh my gosh, I missed a few days of practices. You know what I mean? I'm going to get through that too. It's not always going to be like that, right? But right now, at the current stage that I'm in, I've come a long ways, but I still have a long ways to go. Even though you might see some of these videos and think, oh, Michelle, you're doing blah, 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 you're doing so great. Yes, I am pushing forward, but you don't always see the days that I feel like, what in the hell is going on? Am I ever? You know, we have those moments. That's part of being human. You feel your body going through these different sensations, and I'm like, okay, you know, the last couple days I was going, really trying to find my son a car. He has been scammed so many times through online purchasing, and I found something, and I had to work a lot to, this person was getting they ended up getting 80 messages. And, luckily I left my number or told them to call, and I didn't want to text. And luckily I was one of the first people to message, and we ended up getting it. It was great. But it took a few days of me missing some of my own personal processes, because I'm going to get to that point where I can, I'll work through some of those things. But sometimes what happens is part of my own compulsiveness, like with over detailing and stuff like that. Some of you maybe a good amount of you already knew this way before I ever knew. I only clued in this year, so maybe I'm a little slow. And I don't like going on labels. Labels is not always good either, because what it does is it causes people to label themselves and say, oh, well, I'm this. Well, there's no hope for me. This is just who I am. No. You can always change. Always change. You don't have to be who you are. You know what I mean? We can always change it and work on it. But all that said, for those of you who haven't clued in, I do struggle with ADHD and some OCD, but not the clinical OCD of people who do like multiple competitive things over and over. That's your diagnosable type of OCD. It's a different type. It's OCD is it's a different type. There's OCD and then there's OCPD. And that is something that I struggle more with. A lot of people just talk about OCD, but there's also OCPD, and that is obsessive compulsive personality disorder. And that stems more from a childhood type of an anxiety that people develop, and it turns into like perfectionism. And, if you don't do it the right way, don't do it at all, I'll do it, and they're more rigid, and like there's different, I forget all the things. I can link the video for anyone who's interested in that video. It's a very quick 4 to 5 minute video, and the lady that therapist that talks about this, she explains the difference between the two. There's the clinical type of OCD. That's not me. It's the OCD where it's obsessive compulsive personality disorder, something that we've learned as we've grown up to deal with certain things. And then the ADHD is a similar thing. It has been often said as, attention deficit. And I was talking to a therapist the other day, and she said they know they have to change the label. Instead of attention deficit, it's more like hyper focus. Who would have known? But you don't have a whole lot of interest in certain things, but you have a hyper focus in what you are interested in. And so the reason that I explain that is because of those two things. When it comes to, okay, I'm trying to get my son a car or something like that, there's this hyper focus to get it done until it's done. And if I don't, the anxiety is like really, really, really strong, because, I need to make sure we're not getting scammed. I need to make sure we're getting this. I need to make sure this guy's open and honest. I need to make sure I'm like, that the guy is not going to go with somebody else, and, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, stay on top of it, and I have to get that, it's like, okay, that anxiety can get so high that hyper focus and the over detailing gets sometimes the best of me, because I'm still working on it. But that I explain that to explain that in the last few days, that hyper focus, and towards that I didn't get as much as my self processes in that I do each day that helps regulate my nervous system. And so as a result, luckily, he got the down payment down on the car yesterday, and yay! And he's going to, go again on Monday and put more money down, get the car transferred, registration, and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm like, yeah, I got to get back to my processes, because my nervous system, that's how quickly it can go back up. Now, mentally today, I'm doing really great. That's why I'm making this video. But I've had different points of the day where my system has gotten so high. I won't get into the details, but I know that when it gets to that level, if I do not pay attention, it will incapacitate me for a while. And I won't get into the details in this video, because that's not the point of this video. But I have to pay attention to my body. And when I notice that it gets to that point, too much overthinking, too much overstimulation, not enough regulation, and getting my process and cleaning out my energy, going for my walks, cleaning my head, doing my self-therapy work, all of that fun stuff, my nervous system can get up quite high quite quickly. Physically, it's not necessarily here, like right here. I'm good now. I was struggling with this a couple days ago, but now this is calming down, but my body is going through it. Sometimes it feels like I'm getting electricity going down my system. When I get certain sensations like pain, chronic pain in my neck and in my back and stuff like that, I've also been going through some of that. And then sometimes it's really weird, but just to give you an idea, some things that people are going through that you might not realize. And it's been a new thing with me. I've had different new things happening this fall that have never happened. Even the last 6 months, there's a lot of, or 9 months since last April, there's a lot of different type of things that has been coming up in my system that is brand new. And a lot of things that I've gotten down, and then all these new things, and it's like, what? I'm getting all this other stuff coming down, and then all this new stuff is coming up because my body has gotten to a point where too much for too long, and it's all wanting to come out. And I don't know where I would be today if I wasn't doing the regular self-work that I'm doing because of the amount of stuff that has been coming up in my system. Okay, so with all that, so sometimes when the pain gets between my shoulder blades and my neck, which is something that I've had now for like 10 years, 8 years or whatever, the new thing with these last number of months, and then since last April when I found out that the trauma from one of the persons that I was seeing as a case study at one point, and then again, just he went after Ricky, many of you know, when I had seen him last April, he went after a specific area of trauma, and he said it's stored in between. Like a lot of my physical pain and symptoms that I'm going through is due to stored trauma in the body. Again, that's a whole other video in itself. And if any of you would like to hear more about that, you can maybe even make a message in the comments or something like that and let me know. If there's certain topics that I can help you with, I'd love to make videos here and there to help people, because it really is my passion to do this. In the midst of my own, if I could help people, did you know that actually helps my symptoms get better too? Because it heals me too, to be able to know that I'm healing others. But I can't heal people. I can only teach you how to heal yourself. How you can do it yourself. I can life coach you. But I'm not your healer, and I'm not your savior. Nobody is for each other. We are that for ourselves. And that's what I've had to learn after so many years of my life. It's like, really? I was expecting everyone else to do my whole freaking life, and now I realize that I'm the star of the show. I'm the one that does the change. It's like people tell you, you know it, but you don't know it. And that's what I want to help you realize, is that it's you that changes you. It's me that changes me. We encourage each other. When you tell me that some of my videos help you and encourage you, do you know how much that helps and heals? And it's like, wow, it helps me feel value too, that, I can make a difference. This is what I want to do. It's what I want to do. And being able to be and do what you feel that you want to do in life, when you're able to start that, and it has an impact on people's life, it can help you begin to shine. Even though you feel like, will I ever get there? I have learned that I don't have to think about where I want to be all the time, because if I'm always thinking where I want to be and how far I have to go, it's like I'll never get there. I have to focus on this present moment. When I focus on this present moment, what I can do right now, if I feel like I can do a video right now, and I think maybe I'm going to do a 5-minute video and then I end up doing a 40-minute one, because that's what is starting to flow out of me, then I do it. And that one thing that I can do in this present moment, each of those little things that I do, each of those little steps that I take, help me to get where I want to be. But it's being that in this moment and not thinking about how much I have to do and how far I've got to go to get where I want to be and helping people. I'm not near where I want to be or where I want to go and what I want to do. But I'm making steps. And as I make those steps, it helps others, and at the same time, it really helps me. And if it really helps you, we help and encourage one another in this journey, because we are made to be community, to help one another. But we've got to remember to keep our perspectives, that only I can change me, only you can change you. But we can encourage one another along the way and be a source of strength and inspiration. So let's see if I can get back to where I was. I had mentioned that there was 2 ways of giving up. One is good for you and one is not. One is good, one is not. Sorry, bad humor. But sometimes you just gotta laugh and find something to be a little goofy about once in a while. So learn to smile. That's part of therapy. Anyways, so you know how not to give up. What I want to help you to learn is how sometimes learning to give up can really help us too. So don't give up, but give up. That doesn't really sound like something that I want to name this video, if you know what I mean. Give up trying and giving up doing things to please everybody else and doing things because you're anxious or afraid, or give that stuff all up. One step at a time. Don't forget that though, okay? But don't give up. Small steps every day is going to get us to the top of the mountain. It's going to get us out of the pit. It's that collapse of the star. Nebula. Shh, I didn't say it wrong. The collapse of the nebula creates a beautiful, shining star. Can you grasp that? The deepest darkness of your life, of my life, can cause you to break. And not only break because of the pain you may feel, or the pain that you might be going through, both physically or emotionally or mentally or spiritually. That breaking, it can cause you to shine more beautiful than you've ever shown before in your life. I'm telling you this because I know it from experience. I know it because I know it. I know it. I'm living it. But it is also the most beautiful, horrible thing I've ever had to go through. It started 10 years ago, and then it escalated. And it seemed to escalate and escalate. But once I was told how to get free, and that I could get free, that changed my whole life. It changed my whole life. It changed my whole life. It changed me. So at these moments, when we feel that we're not going to get through, there is light. There is light being birthed in you. If you keep your eyes focused on the horizon and you don't give up, you take those small damn steps every single day, one step, you will get yourself out of that pit, and you will get yourself on top of that mountain, and you will shine like you have never shone before. I'm telling you this because I'm living it, both at the same time. You will shine, and you will get through this, beautiful one. Did you know that we're beautiful? It has nothing to do with the outside. That people say that is where beauty, you know, whether we dye our hair, we put on the, you know, the photo things that make your complexion look young and beautiful. You know, it makes you add makeup to your face when you cry it all off. True beauty is inside of us. True beauty is right here. It's right here. True beauty is right here. I want you to say with me right now. Say this with me. Repeat it. Say your name. I shall, or I am beautiful. I am beautiful. I love myself. I love myself. I am beautiful. I don't need your approval to know that I'm beautiful or loved or valued. I am loved. I am loved for who I am. And if the people that I want to love me don't love me, or the friends that I want to be my friends don't want to be my friends, or the people that I meet think that I'm strange or too hyper or too detailed or too this or too that, it's like, oh, she's too much for me. If they don't want to be my friend, that's okay. If you don't love me, that's okay. I mean, you know, I don't like to not be liked. But if you don't, what I'm learning is that I can love myself. I'm learning to take care of myself. I got off track. Say this with me. I love myself. I am beautiful. I am confident. I believe in myself. I am valuable. I am stronger than I think. I'm more powerful than I believe. And I have hope for a brighter tomorrow. I trust. You can say that I just have faith. You can say, I have faith in God. You can say, I have faith in the universe. I have faith in my heart. Whatever you want to say. But I have faith that I am going to get through this. And what I feel like right now, feelings change. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. And I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. Now, take a deep breath in through your nose if you can. Slow, a little bit deep. I want you to breathe it in deep. And then when you let it out, you can let it out your nose or your mouth. I want you to do it out slowly and for double the length of time that you bring it in. And this is going to help teach your body to come to a relaxed state. It's going to bring more oxygen to your brain and more calm to your nervous system. Okay? So breathe in with me. Okay, you ready? Hold for a second or two, and then release slowly. Let your shoulders relax on your exhale. Now you practice that breathing. You tell yourself you're okay. And every morning, one of your steps can be this. You get up in the morning. I want you to stand in front of the mirror, and I want you to talk to yourself like you would talk to a friend. Don't talk to yourself the way you do when you're self-thinking. You know how we do it. We talk to ourselves a lot differently than we would talk to our best friend going through a rough time. You look yourself in the mirror. You say, I love you. I love you. And I want you to say it like you mean it. At first it might be difficult, but I want you to think it with as much emotion as you can. I love you. You are beautiful, Michelle. You are beautiful. Say your name. Remember that no matter what I feel like today, I remember that it's a feeling, and feelings change. Circumstances and situations change. One day I'm going to look back and I'm going to see and remember this moment. What did I do? What did I do? What can I do to change? What can I do differently this time? The same patterns I've done all my life have not worked. What am I going to change and do differently today? I love you, Michelle. I love you. I am more confident than I think I am. I'm more bold. I'm more beautiful. I'm doing okay. I'm gonna get through this. Today is a brand new day for new changes, new steps, new outlooks, new research. You find what makes you shine, what gives you hope, and you go after it. For me, it started with understanding what was going on. So I researched, how do you deal with anxiety? How do you deal with chronic pain? How does the mind affect the body? Blah, 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 blah. Luckily, I've had some really great therapists in my life that have chronic pain specialists that really opened my eyes to what I was really dealing with. It wasn't just an injury anymore. He fixed that for the most part. The brain was turned on high alert constantly, and they explained it to me. Well, one lady did. And then I got a book. Let me see if I can get it here. I'm going to bring it out. This book was revolutionary in my life. She told me what I was dealing with. She actually gave me a pamphlet book. I'm going to see if I can see it here real quick. I can't see it right off the hand, but it was a book on, just give me 1 second here. Just give me 1 sec. Just figured out why I can't find the book, because I lent it to somebody and I never got it back, so I gotta go get it. So I'm going to recommend this book again, Back in Control by Dr. David Hanscom, Surgeon's Roadmap out of Chronic Pain. And I'm just going to read you. David Hanscom, MD, is a complex deformity spine surgeon of 30 years. As a practicing member, I'm trying to see if I'm reading the wrong part. I'm just going to read it. As a practicing member of the spine specialist at Sweden Neuroscientist Institute, Dr. Hanscom's revolutionary approach to treating chronic pain has helped hundreds of patients live pain-free. In addition to being a best-selling author, he is a frequent guest on TV and radio programs, sought after speaker. Okay, that wasn't what I meant to read. But anyways, he has had a very... Here's the part I wanted to read. In this revised and expanded second edition of his best-selling book, Back in Control, renowned spine surgeon Dr. David Hanscom cites new neurophysiological research to support his groundbreaking approach to conquering chronic pain without surgery. You, the patient, can learn to calm your nervous system, eliminate debilitating pain, and make a full recovery. Drawn from Dr. Hanscom's personal experience of overcoming chronic pain and his work with hundreds of patients, this book will enable anyone suffering from chronic pain to regain control of their care and their life. This is a must-read if you have chronic pain. It also works with the processes that he gives in here to how to deal with it are the same processes you can use for chronic anxiety and multiple other things. But this one is specifically towards chronic pain. That's where my journey began, was with chronic pain. The other things came as I had years and years of chronic pain. And then anxiety started becoming an issue, and then stress, illness, and then, the list goes on. I won't get into it all. But that's where it started. And that was a great book. Another great book. This one's a good book. I wouldn't say it's awesome like this one. This is an older book. But this one, Feeling Good by the New Mood Therapy. It's an old book by David D. Burns, MD. That teaches you how to use cognitive therapy in your healing processes as well, to calm down anxiety and different mood type of things that you go through. So that one is good for that as well. I've had, I've got different, I have another book on the go right now. It's not a book like Back in Control where you can't put it down as easy, but it's still good, and it's the brain's way of healing. And it teaches us how to calm down the nervous system and the brain and stuff like that, different processes and things like that to where we can learn to heal ourselves. Sometimes people are going to need to go on medications for a while to get over a certain level. And in my case, I am trying it pretty much medication free. I did try some medication this fall, just to see if it would help with the chronic pain a bit, because going on a journey of 10 years, and then the last 3.5 years of really doing, 3 years of doing the self-work on my own, all natural. I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing really good. But I could still use a little bit more help with the chronic pain, because I want to get on with my life instead of regulating all the time, doing everything natural. I want to help people, and this will help me to be able to do more if I can get these symptoms down a little bit better, instead of waiting for a day that I'm clear and that I'm feeling okay, so that I'm able to give out or not escalate things further in my own, process. If I don't take the time when I need to rest and regulate, there's times that I can't give much more. I need to do my fill up. I don't mean isolate. I mean do my self-work to get that built up, okay? So, but I found in my case, the medication, I didn't really notice a difference. So I stopped it because my personal processes that I was doing were working better than anything that I felt from the medication. So in that case, yeah. So you can do it. It takes a while. Yeah, and I could try a different type of medication. I may try that at some point. I'll see. But right now I'm still learning new tactics and new things. I get excited about, I'm regulating, and and I might go see another type of a therapist, possibly a physiotherapist. I've mentioned her name before, Pamela Stevenson. She only takes patients who want to do the work. And it's about how to get the brain to calm down and turning up the chronic pain in our bodies. I know she deals with chronic pain because she's a physiotherapist, but she mainly deals with it from the brain perspective and teaching you what the processes are that you've got to do to get that pain, symptoms and everything to calm down. Her name is Pamela Stevenson. I think it's Physio in Motion, I think is the name of her business, and I think she's located in Riverview. But if anyone's interested, again, I can give you her contact info. And even though I only seen her like 2 times, because back in those days, that was before I was a case study with Ricky, and he was the one that perpetuated me forward, because he took me on as a case study for 6 months, which, oh my gosh, he was like a lifesaver for me. But she was the one that gave me the education. He took me on as a case study and helped me get through it. And now I have to do the rest of the work on myself, because if I don't, everything that he did, I could be right back where I began 10 years ago if I don't, because it's something coming from the brain. So I won't get into all of that. But those people were monumental in my life. But she was the one that really gave me the education on it. But I didn't stay with her because I was too wired for her, and it would have cost me a fortune to keep seeing her the way that she could have helped me. So he took me on as a case study, luckily, at that point, because I was just ready to go on a strong medication in order to function, because giving you a cup of coffee sometimes would cause me have to give it to you with 2 hands. That's how much pain I was in back then. So now my levels are calm enough where I can I can work through the stuff, but it's still hard. It feels hard sometimes. Processes are simple, but it's not always easy, put it that way. So, all of that said, I guess I gotta wind down because I'm losing my focus, and I think, I should have stopped this video 10 minutes ago, maybe, I don't know. Hopefully this last bit has not been too much of me rambling. So I'll leave those books with you. If there's any of the information that I've shared with, there's any of a topic or anything like that that you would like me to help maybe answer some questions or something, if you have a specific question about something, feel free to leave it in the comments or private message me. I know a lot of you with my last video, you didn't necessarily feel comfortable leaving a comment. If you want to leave a comment, that's great. It helps get the video promoted more for more people to see it. That might help more people, you know, keeping it in the news feed and stuff like that. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that, that's okay. Just send me a private message. But just keep in mind that I don't like to get into too much texting. I can't be a therapist per se that way, because I do have to limit my time on being online and texting, because those are different things that cause my symptoms to get up high too much if I do too much overstimulation in certain areas. It's hard for me to explain all the symptoms that I get, but over texting for me, I can't do a lot of that. But if there's a video and that you just want to share how, you know, that it's helped and stuff, that's all great. But I won't be able to do like constant, like over texting, that kind of thing. But if there's a topic that you'd like me to address in a video sometime or something like that, and if you're a friend, of course, if you want to get together sometime, you know, I mean, you know me, and you know, I want to be able to help in whatever way that I can, but at the same time I still have to take care of me. And one of these days I'm going to get even more to that place that I can do and be and give more than I'm able to right now. But anyways, I guess I gotta close off. This is the longest video I've done yet. 51 minutes. It is getting long, and if you watch this to the end, I'd like to know. I know maybe I've got to shorten up my videos at some point, but when I share, sometimes I think they're going to be short, and then it just begins to flow, and I'm just trying to go with the flow. And I hope that helps some of you, and I hope it doesn't become so long that you give up in watching it. But I figure if it's meant to be that you will, watch it to the end, and if it's encouraged and inspired you in any way, please leave a comment. Please let me know, and it really helps me to want to do this more, the more that I know that the videos are helping you. And I just want to leave in closing what I said, and I probably got off topic with it, you know, everywhere sometimes. But remember that a nebula has to collapse before a star is born. Don't give up. Keep your eyes straight ahead. Do your research. I can get you YouTube channels and different links if you want stuff. But you've got to be willing to do the research. The more you learn, the more you grow, the more you know. Or the more you know, the more you grow. The more it will help you calm down once you get educated and you know what you got to do to help to calm things down. It gives you hope. And when you get hope, you start to feel better. When you start feeling better in your mind, you start feeling better in your body. That's why we call a lot of this stuff that we go through, it's actually called mind-body syndrome. There's a lot of different names for it technically. I could give you a whole list if you want for that too. Leave a comment, let me know, and I will tell you a whole slew of different names that is given for these type of situations where our mind affects our body, or our body can affect our mind. It's one unit. They're not separate. It's all connected. Too much stress, too much physical pain, too much this, too much that. It's all the same to the brain. Remember that. I've said it before. Emotional pain, physical pain, mental pain, all of that, it's all pain to the brain. It doesn't know the difference. Oh, well, it was just a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of this and a bit. It doesn't think so. It thinks it's all the same thing. And you get too much for too long, it's going to turn on pain and symptoms to tell you, get away from that, danger. So you want to teach it safety. You want to teach it calm. Calm down. We're okay. Breathe through it. Breathe through it. Remember, deep breath in. hold for 1 or 2 seconds, and then at least double the length of time on your breath out, extra slow, than on your breath in. And practice that as much as you can. And that will help calm down your nervous system and relax your body and your mind. There's different techniques. And as I continue to grow in my own processes, I want to do more of these videos to help you, and maybe shorter videos too. But that will come as it comes. And in the meantime, you practice the little things, take your little steps every day, educate, learn, grow, so that you can know and then grow. I'm always saying it backwards, but it rhymes. So anyways, I love you guys, and I hope you have a peaceful evening tonight. And I just remembered that I never did finish what I was going to say about the pain between the shoulder blades, what the new symptom is going to be. But you know what? I guess that's another video. So I hope you guys have a lovely evening, and may your sun, your nebula that collapses, remember, it's gonna to a beautiful star. Remember, our sun is a star, and the sun creates such a beautiful light when the sun goes down and when the sun goes up, just like that. Love you guys. Take care, and peace to you.